But let's start with the bracket itself. Now that it's out, Choppy and I broke this down just a little bit last week, John, while you were out. It is interesting, I think, how we've got, I don't want to call it an unbalanced bracket, but a lot of people seem to think that one side is definitely a lot tougher than the other. You've got one side with Ohio State in the 2, Georgia in the 3, A&M, Miami, Ole Miss, all on one side. The other side, Indiana, Texas Tech, little Cinderella vibe there, regardless of which one may come out, or Oregon, Bama, Oklahoma. And that's where I wanted to start in this thing because despite Indiana being the number 1 seed, John, they still do not have the shortest odds on the board. When we look at national championship bets, the shortest odds are on Ohio State. Is there value on Indiana, in your opinion, being from the, as people are calling it, softer side of the bracket? Still a buck longer in some spots, 3-1 or thereabouts, as compared to Ohio State's 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, the hesitation is that Indiana lost their best edge rusher, Stephen Daly, and I think that's it seems to be perceived as a big blow. I didn't watch a ton of Big Ten football this year. Hand up, I'm an SEC and Group of Five guy, as many of you know. But look, I did watch the Big Ten championship game, and I think they'll be able to, scheme around it. I think Cignetti is as good as anybody when it comes to that. But it does seem like that injury is going to loom pretty large here. And look, I mean, is there value on a 1 seed at plus 290? I would say sure. But I do think you have to be very, aware of that injury and what it might do for that defense. And that's probably a big reason why this is being priced as it is right now. And also, people just expect Ohio State to, they're not overreacting to one loss, right? People aren't overreacting to one game. It's still going to be the highest power rated team in college football. But sure, I mean, I certainly wouldn't say it's a bad bet at plus 290, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad bet. I mean, look, you're going to see potentially Ohio State with a more difficult road, right? If to make it that far. So, I mean, from that standpoint, having to play Georgia versus Texas Tech, that doesn't make sense from the from where the number is. I think plus 290 is as good as you're going to get on the 1 seed. I think Georgia's actually a decent number at 6-1, even though they've got a difficult road. I mean, but they are going to face a team in the first round they've already played, right, and beaten, and then the second round, and in their second game they would take on Ohio State, which, I mean, obviously it's a great team, but there's whoever's going to win is going to have to beat 2 top dogs. It's just the way it's going to be. But yeah, I mean, plus 290, that's fine. And, and I know the loss of the edge is big, but we've seen this in the NFL. We've seen this, non-quarterbacks don't really move the betting line, so they really, to me, they wouldn't move.
Well, Michael Parsons did. Michael Parsons moved it
barely.
I thought it was like 6, and now it's like 1.5.
6.
I think it was 6. You got to look at
Aaron Rodgers barely moved the line 6.
I'm telling you now, it may not just be Micah, but I think the look ahead on that game was Green Bay minus 6.
6.
Yeah.
6. Tom Brady didn't move the line 6 points.
Oh, 4.5.
I'm more concerned. 4.5. Yeah. I'm more concerned, Choppy, with you just writing off a Group of 5 team, right in John's face like this. Just talk about, if Georgia's going to play somebody they already played in the quarterfinals. Just writing off Tulane.
Exactly. How dare you do that?
Did I speak out of turn there?
It's been the problem. The whole entire show is that you guys just don't respect anybody in the Group of 5. You're no different than Nick Saban. You're no different than any of these college football fans. We'll go play our own little playoff so you don't have to be bothered by us. We're sorry for existing.
Joel Klatt appreciates you.
I'm glad you finally said that. I'm glad you finally said that. Somebody.
But you know what? You guys will absolutely love it when Rum Dum University beats a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, won't you? You won't say that.
We will like that.
I'm totally here for the chaos. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'd love to see Tulane somehow upset Ole Miss or JMU somehow upset Oregon. I love the chaos. I'm here for it. I'm here for the 16 seeds in March Madness. I'm here for all of it in the college football playoff too. Like, I want to see something different. It's what, again, when you were out last week, John, Choppy and I talked about Texas Tech for like 45 minutes because I swear to God, we wouldn't shut up about Texas Tech because the way they're priced right now doesn't make sense to me either. Okay, good chance they're going to face Oregon in their quarterfinal game, but they're going to be at home. The only game they lost all year, Texas Tech, was on the road without their starting quarterback. Other than that, they've been dominant all year.
Yeah.
And now you're going to give them a home. You're going to give them a game against Oregon. Should be at home, I should say. The quarterfinal game should be at home. And then you're going to give them, what, Indiana, maybe Bama or Oklahoma. I love Texas Tech with that defense, the big plays they come up with on offense to go on a little bit of a run. It's why I really like that, as everybody's calling it, softer side of the bracket. And it doesn't make sense to me that, for example, John, Oregon is basically priced the same as Texas Tech.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only guess that I would come up with is that, you know, people are just down on the Big 12, right? That they just don't really believe that a team from the Big 12 is going to win this thing. And, you know, I guess, and I'm sure you guys covered it, but, you know, when you talk about a university in Texas Tech that has invested more money in athletics and NIL specifically than anybody else, you know, that team is going to be very live. And they have been. I mean, they, like you said, they lost one game and the quarterback wasn't playing. So, yeah, I think you can't ever count out a team with the highest bankroll when they've made it this far. And then again, 8-1, they have the fourth best odds. I don't think they're getting disrespected, but you know, if you think the price should be worse, right, then I think the only reason why it would not be is because the market doesn't really believe the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, why would you believe in the Big 12 at this point? Like they've kind of shown that they're not that's not the Big 10. It isn't the SEC, and they lost their two best teams in Texas and Oklahoma. But Texas Tech is as good a team as there is out there. I mean, they have the absolute cheat code of college sports, which is Cody Campbell. They've put a really good roster together. I love their head football coach. I'm with you, Chris. It should be a home game. Tortillas will be flying, and they're going to bring them. They're bringing the tortillas to Miami. Don't you think for a second they're not, because that's a Big 12 policy with the fines, not a CFP. So they're going to bring them, and it's gonna be fun. But you know, we saw this last year. You know, this layoff can be tough. I mean, Tech and Indiana, Ohio State, and Georgia. I mean, it'll be a month that they haven't played, and then they're going to be expected to go play a team that already had kind of especially a team like Oregon. No offense, John, cover your earmuffs. They had a get-right game against JMU. You know, like that's just is it totally fair for the higher seed?
More group of five slander.
Well, look, JMU should. I mean, even I can admit that JMU has no business being in this thing. Okay,
because they're not in the American. That's why you're not back.
No, that's not why. It's just like the reason why they're in is because it's stupid ACC tiebreaker. That I don't know who the hell came up with that. But I mean, come on, they got very, very lucky with that, and you know, they're 21.5-point underdogs. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I'm a realist, and I understand that, you know, if you're a 3-touchdown dog, you're outclassed. I mean, that's like a bye game, you know, essentially. But
yeah. Well,
you know,
I do want to bring up
at least one. You have to have one spot because
we're all got to have at least one.
Yeah.
And if the ACC is going to screw around like they did, then yeah, you get what you get. And exactly. I'm sorry, you might have two group of fives in some years, and that's what we got.
No, it'll never happen again. They already made sure of that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we got to guarantee a spot for Notre Dame in future years and make sure that doesn't happen again. I do want to go back to Oregon though, because like I said, they're priced essentially the same as Texas Tech. And Choppy brought up an interesting thought that we all remember from a year ago. Those top 4 seeds were all rusty. They just didn't look great after sitting out for nearly a month in some cases. So, John, do you think that's what's leading into the pricing of Oregon, essentially the same in some markets as Texas Tech, that they'll have that opportunity to sort of warm up to the task by playing James Madison first.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I mean, that can also work. I mean, you can get hurt against even a team you're 3 touchdown favorite against, right? I mean, freak stuff happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's part of the, it's essentially a guarantee that they win that game in advance. And by the fourth quarter, are their starters going to be in? Probably not. I mean,
not.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if it's that close. And I think Dan would understand. Hey, we got to get these guys out. So that's probably a big part of it. Is like, you're going to win the game, and you probably don't even have to worry about much mileage, right? Like, that is the crazy part about these playoffs. You have to win so many games, right? And you're gonna it's a war of attrition. And when you're playing a team that you're a 3 touchdown favorite over, which is only going to be the Oregon Ducks here, that is a big advantage.
That's what I was going to bring up, Choppy. How much do you like, considering we've both written extensive love letters to Texas Tech at this point?
Right.
Do you like Oregon at all? Because let's assume a lot gets neutralized with the Red Raiders by being on a neutral field, tortillas aside. And Oregon does get to warm up to the task against JMU this weekend, catches Texas Tech half asleep for the first quarter of that game, gets a lead and never looks back. I mean, Oregon, we're then talking about a path for Oregon that would presumably be against Indiana, who, yeah, they lost to, but are they going to lose to them twice in the same season? All of a sudden, it opens it up for Oregon to slide their way all the way to the national championship game.
Yeah. It's a year later. I mean, they had the path last year, and they got upended in the same kind of situation. I actually think Oregon would be a very difficult test for Tech. I think Oregon's a little underrated. I think that's also another reason why, their odds are kind of close. And we see that Indiana game, and they lost at home, and they didn't really get tested all that much. But I like Oregon. If they were to play Tech, if Tech was favored by anything more than 3.5, I'd probably jump all over Oregon. I think they're pretty close, and yeah, like they've got, obviously they've been in this situation before. There's Tech and Ole Miss, like obviously the Group of 5 schools, they haven't been in this position. They haven't played in this game. Now Ole Miss played big games before. Obviously playing against Georgia and Alabama and Oklahoma. They played these teams, but there's a big difference in that versus playing a college football playoff neutral field. So Oregon's done that. A lot of these guys have done that already.
Before we get into the games themselves, which we'll get into all 4, understanding that some of you may have not gotten on top of things and consumed this show before Friday night's Alabama-Oklahoma game. Sorry, your loss. We're still going to talk about it for everybody that gets the show before that game kicks off. But speaking of the Tide and the Sooners, John, Kalen DeBoer has done everything he can do to tamp down any rumors about anything. But if Alabama takes one on the chin Friday night against Oklahoma, do you believe there's any possibility that he entertains an offer from Michigan?
I mean, I think whether he does or doesn't, he should. I mean, I if I'm him, I'm out. I mean, that's why he's, the second favorite right now for that job. Now, whether that means he gets it or even is interested or gets an interview or whatever. But I mean, if I'm him, I'm definitely looking for the first flight out of Tuscaloosa. I mean, you're the guy that followed the guy, no matter what. Yeah. You're the guy that followed the guy, and I think his tenure has been, if you just strip away everything, his tenure has been good. I mean, they're going to the playoff, right? But like, you're just never going to escape that shadow no matter what. And if they would have even lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which they were very close to doing, that decision could have very well been made for him. I see that they have flipped to the dog in this game against Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Every time I've bet Alabama this year, I have been painfully wrong. I don't understand them. I don't get them. I used to get them a lot because Nick Saban just would win every game. But now they're a great mystery to me. But if they come to me and they have any, I'm in. See you. I'll see you in Ann Arbor. Let's go. Let's introduce me. I'm out.
We'll get into that. Go ahead.
Regardless of what happens this week.
Yeah. regardless,
baby.
win, lose, or
Spicy.
draw.
Spicy.